So recently, I was having a conversation with a newer client that's selling a $2,000 information product very successfully with a webinar funnel. And she wanted to split test that webinar funnel versus a VSL funnel. I thought it was an awesome idea. And she had already started working on some pages. So once I reviewed those pages, I realized that what she was thinking was a VSL funnel was not actually a VSL funnel. So I wanted to put this video together to demonstrate what a VSL funnel actually is, talk about a couple of different things you might want to consider on whether or not you should actually use a VSL funnel or not, and also give some tips on things I've noticed that help make these funnels scalable so that you can actually make some money in your business with them. By the way, in case we haven't met yet, my name is Brandon Dillon. I'm the founder of ResponseFlood.com, where we help service providers and topic experts use YouTube ads to bring in a whole bunch of sales calls with qualified prospects. And one of the funnels that we've had the most success with are VSL funnels. So first and foremost, let's define terms here so that we're making sure that we're on the same page. VSL stands for Video Sales Letter. You already know what a sales letter is. That's the message that you use to turn a prospect into an active buyer. And we're delivering that sales letter in a video format. With that definition in mind, the pages that you're going to need are going to make a lot more sense. And I already have the first page of a very basic VSL funnel on screen right now. Now, this is an opt-in page. You've seen a million of these and you know the idea. General gist is we're using this page to give the prospect a way to give us their contact details in exchange for access to the thing we're promoting, or in this case, a VSL. Now, there is one thing I want to highlight here that may be a little bit different from other VSLs that you'll see out there in the wild. I personally do like to ask for the phone number on the opt-in page. Now, this will negatively impact the opt-in conversion rate. Less people will opt in. But for the types of offers that I generally promote, it's a worthwhile trade. We have sales teams that power pretty much all of the offers that we promote, and we need to get in touch with these folks. So even if they don't book a sales call after watching the VSL, if we're getting the phone number up front, we can reach out to them via SMS and try to get a call booked that way. You can either make this a requirement or you can make it optional. Generally speaking, I make it optional, but that's really up to you. Do your own testing. Your mileage may vary. After they opt in for your thing, they get sent to the actual watch page. And this is where your VSL actually lives. As I mentioned, this is a sales letter in video format, but I do recommend that you make your videos value oriented. So a pure pitch, generally speaking, doesn't work as well as value delivered and then having a pitch stitched into it, that pitch being to book a call with your sales team. General ranges that I've seen work best for a VSL funnel generally are anywhere from about 15 minutes up to about 45 minutes, give or take. But again, do your own testing. There is no set in stone rule for any of these things. After watching the VSL itself, the call to action button links out to a application page. This is where your form will live, and you'll ask the questions that you'll need to get in order to know whether or not that lead is actually qualified. So this is where you would do that. You can approach this in a couple of different ways. You can use a single page form like you see on screen here. But another example or another option that's very popular is to use a quiz or a survey. So basically you split out this form into several different questions, and the prospect will answer those questions step by step. This can be a little bit easier to consume for the prospect depending on how long or involved your form is. But either one of these can work depending on how many questions you need to ask to pre-qualify that lead. After submitting the application, they get kicked over to a calendar. This is assuming that they are qualified. And this is where they can choose a day and time that they can actually meet and have a conversation about whatever it is that you're promoting. One thing that I forgot to mention earlier is depending on the platform that you're using to build out your forms, you may be able to add some conditional logic here. So for instance, if you have a question that will be a very good indicator on whether or not the prospect is qualified, for example, maybe you ask a question about budget, or you ask a question about industry, so forth and so on, you can have conditional logic here that determines whether or not they get kicked into the booking page or not. So generally speaking, a lot of what we'll do is um, we'll have qualification questions that will either send them to a booking page, or we'll send them down a different path, either to, for instance, like a tripwire offer or some sort of an opt-in. This is another option. So anyway, after they book a day and time that works for them, the final page will be the thank you page. This is a really great opportunity on this thank you page to start positioning the sales call as something that will be very valuable, as well as essentially nurturing that prospect so that the sales call goes as well as possible. So you can do things like adding testimonials on this page. You can have links to your socials. You can include other content that you might want them to watch before the actual the actual call takes place. The sky's really the limit here. The real idea here is that once they reach this page, you don't want to waste that attention that you already have. So continue to deliver, continue to nurture, and hopefully prepare that prospect to have a better sales call. So that's what a VSL funnel actually is. Now, when should you use one? Generally speaking, VSL funnels are best used when you have a mid to higher ticket product that you sell. So anywhere from about $1,000 plus. There isn't really a ceiling that I've personally seen for the sorts of products that you can pre-sell using a VSL funnel. But generally speaking, anytime a product is less than like $1,000, usually doesn't really make sense. A lot of those things you can sell direct from a webinar funnel without having a sales call. So if you need to have a sales call as part of your process, a VSL funnel is usually a pretty good idea. And with that said, I'll wrap this video here. I hope you found it valuable. Oh, by the way, if you want to get access to this very simple, basic VSL structure that I shared in this video, I'll include a link below. It's a Go High Level funnel sharing link. So basically you can tap it and clone this funnel into your own Go High Level account. If that's any value, you'll see that in the description below. Beyond that, if you like this sort of content, go ahead and subscribe. This is the first video I've made in years for my own channel. I feel like the proverbial cobbler, where I've been helping so many other brands grow their YouTube presences that I just haven't made the time to do it myself. But that is changing now. So if you like this sort of content, go ahead and subscribe. You're going to have a lot more videos related to making money with YouTube ads, making money with sales calls, and everything that is related with that. And with that said, signing out. See you in the next one.